Greetings guys and gals and fellow gamers, this is Kickz and welcome to another episode of Tips and Tricks with Kick in the zombie-infested world of 7 Days to Die. Now, I have a few things for you, and because I'm not the smartest person and I can't come up with anything myself, the only thing I came up with myself is leveling to 10, and that was just purely by coincidence, but I have received so many tips from you guys, and I'm really happy that when I asked you to put hashtag pro tip in front of things and give me your tips, that was awesome. The reaction was just pure gold. Like, yeah, so over the last 2 episodes, I probably received 13, 14 tips, you know, which is amazing, yeah, that you share them. And some of them you haven't tried, some of them you tried, you know, and this is there's gonna be a waiver, okay? Any pro tips I show you later in the segment, yeah. The waiver, I have not confirmed them, I have not tried them. They're purely based on community feedback for the community, from the community, so you guys can battle it out in the arena of community battle royale, if anything is not wrong. And you can reply, and you can leave more comments and more pro tips, you know, to get to the meat of the start. Now, originally I told you to craft tons of wood logs, railings, yeah, from the wood. And I was like, okay, that's great, you know, we can do that. Now, however, there's something else. Yes, wood spikes. And I dismissed them originally because wood spikes take 9 sticks. And 9 sticks craft 3 wood spikes. And I was like, oh, that's a waste, you know, like you don't need wood spikes. I don't think you get the same experience from it. Yeah? But look what happens when you craft 1 wood spike. So we in the moment have 15,680 Kickz numbers. 15,680. Now, I craft 1 time. That's 15,725. Ooh, that is 45 experience points, my friends. So that means per stick, 9 of them it is 5 experience, which is exactly the same as the experience you get from the railing. So if you look at the railing that we made originally, which I don't even know where it is. I think, is it furniture? Is it, it's a railing of old wood. So we are at 15,680. What are we at? At 15,725. 725. I can't even write, I'm sorry. So we do 1 of those. And we get 745, we get 20 experience, which is by 4 sticks, 5 per stick. But the beauty of it doing it with spikes instead of railing is you can use them. And not only that, they have a burn time, so they're multi-use. So imagine you doing this now, yeah, so let's take 1 of those logs, okay, you get 16, you craft them to spikes, yeah, you won't be able to use all of them, but that's fine, we're not really too worried about the diminishing returns, so go to tools and traps, and then you can craft 21 spikes. Sure, you have 1 stick left, so you lost 5 experience. Who cares, yeah? So instead of 405, you get 400 experience, yeah? But every 9 ones, you're gonna get a free one, so it doesn't matter. But 29 spikes, yeah? Now, 21 spikes. You do that with a couple of those, yeah? And say you did it with a couple of those, and now we have more wood spikes. These guys are absolutely awesome in warfare. So let's go over to the town over there that I found, yeah, and let's show you what you can do with them. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spawn a couple of dogs in. There we go. 4 should be enough, yeah. And imagine you crafted a couple of wood log spikes, okay. Okay, and now look what happens, and yeah, come on, Pooch. And here we go. Now look at that. These things break easily, but when something is after you, It is the best thing you can do. Here we have another dog. Come on, come on, Coochie. Coochie Poochie. There you go. There you go. Now, be more careful than me, you know, running through these wood log spikes, through these wood spikes, but that's the general idea. So I hope you got it. So, that was my tip that I passed on. It wasn't my tip, sorry, let me rephrase that. It was Pedro56. Now, that is his name on Steam, and if you go to Steam and look under 7 Days to Die guides, or go to my profile, look under guides, I published my first guide that I had on the video there on Steam, and he left a comment, and I thanked him, and I gave him kudos. So this is actually from Pedro56. That is the advice he gave me when he said, why are you crafting that if you can craft wood spikes? And I was like, awesome. Okay, moving on. Another one where I couldn't find the comment from, and I have heard it a few times now, but it's not necessarily the fastest way, yeah? Say, for example, you found some cloth fragments, yeah? And I'll show you now in a second why I don't think it is the best thing to do. Let's make some space here. Okay. Now, another thing that you can do is, with cloth, you can craft bandages. Okay? Now, each bandage, if you look at the medic simple bandage, crafting the first time gives you how much experience? What do we have? 245, 265. So you get 20 experience for the first craft, and 65, 70, and only 5 experience for the second. So it's very little experience. However, if you're desperate and you're staying somewhere at night and you have loads of cloth fragments, do it, because look what happens. Okay? I don't know if I'm gonna get overflow or not, but... Okay. Anyway. Now, we have lots of them on the ground, so ignore them. Now, the problem with this is, even though it gives you 5 experience points, and look what happens. You can put them in the middle and craft cloth again. Now, does that give you experience, actually? I have never checked that. So, 510... It doesn't give you experience. So basically, you're gonna have to convert all of these guys back. And look, you can put them all in the window up there, yeah? But you have to manually drag them up there, yeah? To make cloth again. You cannot say you want cloth fragments. You can't. You cannot make cloth fragments from simple bandages in an automated way. So you manually have to drag all of them into the window. And for 5 experience per craft, I'm not sure it's the fastest, but nonetheless, it is a way to make experience. And free as such, because, well, you can do this all day long. So now, on to the pro tips. Let me just get out of the way so I don't have Mr. Bear, you know, ruining the experience. Okay, so, whoops. There we go. Alright, now on to the pro tips. The first pro tip comes from Daryl Wood, and he suggests, don't die. And that has to be the #1 pro tip, because if you die, none of this is worth it. Okay? So, remember, don't die. The next pro tip is from Andy Combs, who's basically saying, don't break coal ore down if you intend to burn it. It only gives 5 coal pieces, which burn for 40 seconds. Ooh, it's snowing. So 1 coal ore burns for 6. Basically, the gist of it is, if you are using coal as fire for burning stuff, don't break it down. Now, I broke it down accidentally when I did it. Not accidentally, I broke it down because I said, oh shit, I don't want to waste 6 minutes and 40 seconds on something that costs like 1 minute. So I broke it down into individual coal pieces, because each coal piece burns for 40 seconds. And I was like, great, 3 coal pieces, 120, that's what I need. But obviously, the best thing is, don't use the coal unless you're actually needing that burn time, in my opinion, after reading this, because it's like, well, duh, you're using 3 minutes and 20 seconds. You're losing 50% of your burn time, which is really bad. So if you come across coal in the wood, seeing that how rare it is unless you find a cave, you know, you use it for fire, for burning, use it for the forge, or something that, you know, takes a long time, you know, or food, or something that adds up to a lot of time. And don't waste it like I did. Okay, very good tip. Thank you very much, Andy. So, before the next pro tip, sorry Andy if I pronounced your surname wrong, and I apologize up front for any other name I'm gonna pronounce wrong, okay? I think it's Coombs instead of Combs, I don't know, I'm sorry. Okay, the next pro tip is from Tartarus3. He has a few tips. He said basically, loot the garages, because they have the same chance of yielding minibike parts than cars do. He's not sure about the exact numbers, but again, this is community pro tips from you to you, okay? From the community to the community, so I haven't tested all of them, I don't know. He also says, like, you know, that you should check the gas stations, you know, the pumps, because you can always find fuel on them, yeah? And I don't know if you have to read actually a book to be able to decipher the fuel from them. I have heard other people saying that they can't use them, and I think it has to do with the book. Also, another tip is to repair the library if there's any broken walls, because you don't have all the recipes yet, of course, yeah. So if you have a respawn as well, you know, don't make sure the libraries stay intact, you know, they will respawn some of the books. If you're missing mini bike parts, basically the tires, yeah, it says break the tires you see in car shops and in garages with an axe. That's actually true. You see these tires lying on the ground sometimes, and you can actually break them, they turn to little tires, and you can use them for your mini bike, which is actually very great advice, yeah. Oh, I didn't know you can sometimes break them. There you go. So just be careful, but better than nothing. All right, thank you very much, Tartarus3. Okay, the next pro tip comes from Dusty Rusty 81. It says, when you're driving your mini bike, do not run over any dead patches on the road, the gore blocks basically, yeah, and or even before they turn to gore blocks, because they will slow you down a lot, and that is true. Yeah, so everything going through it is great. So that, by the way, if you have any zombies, keep luring them through the gore blocks. It makes them so slow, it's very nice. You can just take your time, get some stamina back, shoot them in the head. Anyway, I'm sidetracking as I always do. I'm not very focused. So mini bikes, gore blocks, no. Then also don't drive through bears. Even though you can pretty much, when I tested it, one-shot a bear with your mini bike, it seems to cause serious damage to your mini bike. So, and always have repair kits with you to fix your mini bike. Very well done. Thank you very much, Dusty Rusty 81. Okay, here's another pro tip by Rendering Born or Bjorn or Burn, or I'm sorry. Using your melee weapon will drain your stamina, as we know, but it will also drain to zero if you're on antibiotics or grain alcohol. So, because the amount of stamina you gain back is less than the amount of stamina you spent when you hit with your melee weapon. Do not overuse your melee weapon while fighting a feral horde at night, or it will quickly run out of stamina and you will be overwhelmed and killed. To be safe, don't use melee at all. So, melee last resort, okay? Unless you want to finish something off, something's to close, and you know you're not going to be walking, you know, don't use it for more than 1 or 2 zombies in a row, you know, unless you don't have a choice. But if you find yourself not having a choice, it's probably too late anyway. So, thank you very much, Render and Burn. Okay, the next pro tip is by Yaximitsu or Yaxamice, and it's about the trees. If you didn't know, you can actually kill zombies with the trees. If you chop down the trees and you time it right and you smack a zombie on the head, the zombie is dead. Okay, squish squash, end of story. Okay, thank you very much, Jaximitsu, for that. The next pro tip is by Kevin Noble, and if you didn't know that, you know all these little gravel paths you have beside your houses, especially in the desert? They're very easily destroyed with your shovel, even with your beginner shovel. So if you're looking for gravel at the early days, in the beginning, there you go. That's a very good source. Thank you very much. So here's the pro tip by Gary Evans that I couldn't remember earlier if I had it in the pro tip list or not. So this is in regards to the bandages. Instead of using sticks, you can get XP by turning cloth into bandages when scrapping the bandages back into cloth. It's green, no waste. Absolutely true. There is no waste. It goes back and forth, back and forth. Now, you don't get experience, sadly, when turning them back, as we've seen, into cloth, and you get 5 experience per cloth into bandages, and they're very hard to manage with space. But if you have nothing else, this is an absolute very good way of making 5 experience per craft, which is, you know, to be honest, if you have like 1,000 cloth, like, you know, that's like 5,000 experience. So it's nothing to be put aside at all. It's just hard to manage with the space. Okay, thank you very much, Gary Evans. The next pro tip is one of the ones you have to take more serious, okay, because it is very important. Never eat yellow snow. Joshua Odell is right. Never eat yellow snow. And I say never eat yellow snow, especially when your friends tell you to, and they have that smirk on their face that you think you cannot trust somehow for some reason. Anyway, very good advice. Never eat yellow snow. Now here we have a pro tip which I haven't proved, which doesn't look like Jimmy Cullen has tested himself, but he has been told that you can hit a tree when it starts to fall. So when it makes that falling sound, and you're supposed to be able to give it a hit or two to redirect where it's gonna fall. Now, as trees kill you very quickly when you stay in the wrong direction, feel free to be my guest to test that theory out for me, because my life will be, let's just say I trust you more to test this out more correctly than me, because I die from trees when I stand behind them or after they're already fallen. So yeah, so anybody want to test this out, you know, feel free. Thanks very much for the tip, assuming it works. Thank you very much, Jimmy. So the next pro tip is by E, just E, just like chair, just E. He ate all the other letters in the alphabet. So he basically saying that the stone axe is the fastest and cheapest tool for gathering plant fiber, and that is true. I didn't realize that, okay? That is really a great tip, because I was using every other weapon. And the hoe, which used to be the fastest, yeah? Oh my god, they made it so slow, it's desperate, okay? I'm surprised you don't need a schematic for speeding it up, okay? It is actually at this stage in Alpha 12, like I wouldn't be surprised if I'm right, if you get a schematic to learn how to speed up the hoe. But anyway, hoe is crap now. So stone axe is true, it's very fast actually, and it gets the grass with one hit. And seeing that you can make it just with a stick and a plant and a stone, there you go, off you go. You know, happy lawn mowing, you know, it's great. So thank you very much for that tip. Now here's a few pro tips. Yes, more than one person felt the need to tell me that when I was complaining about the arrows, oh man, I feel like an idiot now. I was playing and I could not switch my ammunition, so I had crafted 2 arrows and put one set of ammunition on one and one set of ammunition on the other. And I was like, why can't they have a way to switch? It's desperate, I have to right click and it's stupid. Yeah, so in case anybody else had the same moment than I did, which probably is 0, it's Alt-R. So Alt-R switches ammo on a weapon. You can see it there, and possibly there by JPD Tad, by Recent Hookery, Mr. Duckfin, Darren Steele, Jimmy Cullen again, Luther Baker, and Xavian Flux. And there was a lot more that didn't fit on the page. Thank you very much all for the pro tip on using Alt-R, because you can use it while you're running, you can use it at any stage. Brilliant, okay? Very good. The only gripe I have, because I have to moan about something, is that you can't rebind it, as far as I know. Okay, I couldn't find anywhere to rebind it, which is the only pain in the ass, because Alt-R, luckily I played World of Warcraft long enough to have very nimble fingers when it comes to that side of the keyboard. Alright, okay, so let's see what else is coming. Thank you very much, guys. Yes, this one is a pro tip in video format. I'm not playing the video because it's not for me to play. It's for you guys to play. I want you to go to Open Roamer if you are wondering about the disappearing bikes, okay? Now, I'm not sure if all of what he's saying applies to you, but watch his video, okay, and watch all of it, because there's a few tips he has. Yeah, now in the beginning he's just messing around with the bike, but towards the middle and the end he's going through how he discovered the Minibike disappears, and how he can prevent it from disappearing, and how it sometimes falls through the ground, and how he can prevent that. Now, I don't know if that will also fix the bug where if you log off and log back in, your Minibike is gone. I don't know that, but feel free. He's doing a lot of tests with this. Feel free to ask the question on his channel, and we'll see if he's gonna reply or not. I don't know. He seems to be a new channel, only open since June, so June or July, and only has a couple of videos up. So, but this video in particular caught my interest because a lot of people seem to have problems with mini bikes. So give it a shot, have a look at it, and if it helps you, great, you know, and if it did help you, yeah, and it fixed some of your problems. Leave a like on his channel, you know, and tell him that it was helpful and useful to you, and show him the support, okay? Because I think it's great that somebody spends so much time actually testing all these things and finding that out. So thank you very much, Open Roamer, for that. I really appreciated watching that video, because I know a few guys on my server have a lot of problems, but again, I don't know if it fixes the problem of the bike disappearing when you log back in, but if you are one of those people who have problems with the bike constantly falling through the earth and you don't know why, that video will help you. Alright, so thank you very much for that pro tip. And on that note, I want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the pro tips from the community to the community. And the tips I left you guys in the beginning. And I apologize to the people that I didn't realize were there, or that didn't put a pro tip in front and that I missed. So I'm really sorry about that. If I missed you, and if you have a pro tip, hashtag pro tip, leave it in the comments. No matter if it's useless, useful, funny, whatever, I will show it, as long as it's not too crude and too rude. I will show it and share it with the community, and hopefully get some very interesting and good things for the next tips and tricks with Kickz. So thank you very much for watching. I hope I see you guys in the next video, and until then, as always, viel Spaß and happy gaming.